Boy, welcome to another FAQ Monday. I am your host, Fluff. And if you have a question, feel free to leave them on down below or going over to my Ask FM account thing, and we'll get you squared away promptly. I promise. First question. Do you use any special switching in the studio to connect your heads to your cabinets, or do you simply move cables around? Actually, to be honest with you, I don't really use cabinets that much anymore. I'm either using the Universal Audio Aux or the 2 Notes Torpedo Live for, I would say, 90% of everything I do. And if I don't use either one of those, I'm using the Helix or, some kind of a plugin from Universal Audio or JST or the Helix plugin, etc., etc. The cab stuff, or using a cabinet, is kind of a last resort for me, just because the speed and the pace at which I work, I often don't have time to go and get a cab. And also, I recently moved all my stuff to a storage locker, so I'd have to go and get a 212 or something like that, and then put it in the next room, and then it'd be very time consuming. So if it's not specifically related to a speaker or something like that, I don't use speakers, I use impulses, and I get by just fine. Ever been to Sweetwater's Gear Fest? You know what? No, I have not. And I've been invited the last 2 years, and every single year I'm on tour. I was actually going to do a clinic kind of a thing at the last Gear Fest, and I was literally in the middle of the country on tour, baking it out. And I was really bummed that we didn't get to go to Gear Fest, because literally like the day after it ended, we rolled through where Gear Fest was in Indiana. Just, yeah, the universe just loves me sometimes, right? But no, I've always wanted to go. I hear it's what NAMM used to be like, meaning it's very communal, and it's just it's a really good hang. And I will definitely try to make it this upcoming next year if I'm not on tour once again. If I'm not on tour, I will be there, I promise. Any plans on selling more merch? A Riffs and Beards hoodie would be swell. So for a long time, I did merch the old-fashioned way, meaning I would order a whole bunch of stuff, and then anytime I would get an order, I would be printing labels and packages, and like all that stuff was sent out by me for like the first 3 years I had merch. And then I didn't do merch anymore because the band really started touring. I just got too busy, so I took down the merch store. It was a lot. And then recently, I got it back up and running over on Teespring, because recently they partnered with YouTube, and like a lot of the, if you had a minimum of 10,000 subs or something, you could get your own Teespring store and get a discount on getting merch in there. So that's what I have done. And below this video, there's usually some merch down there. I have a bunch of new designs, etc., etc., as well as a Riffs and Beards hoodie. That is there in the merch store right now. I didn't really tell anybody about it because I didn't want to be like, hey guys, I got merch, blah, blah, but there are some shirts and some merch items available. I'm working on a coffee cup. I really want a coffee cup, but Teespring doesn't do coffee cups, so yeah, coffee cup is coming. How do you connect your Helix to the Rockaverb? So in my touring setup, I have an orange Rockaverb for my clean and dirty, and I have a Line 6 Helix hooked up in what's called 4-cable method. This essentially means I have 4 cables coming from the Helix to the Rockaverb, and within the Helix, I can place things either in front of the amp, going into the front end of the amp, or in the loop, depending on where in the patch I place the given effect. So for example, on my signal chain within the Helix, I will have an overdrive that's being routed to the front, and then I will have a time-based, effect, delay or reverb in the loop. And I can be selective on how I want those, as opposed to having just a single delay pedal in the loop and a single overdrive in the front end. I can switch them per patch, etc., etc. And it just allows the best of both worlds when using a processor with an amplifier. And now, Fluff reads a tweet. Some of you never had to use a PV Rage combo, and it shows. My suggestion to you this week is to come and say hi at the NAMM Show in Anaheim. I know it's not open to the public, but if any of you are going to be at the NAMM Show. I will be performing at the Fishman booth and at the Ernie Ball booth and at the Balaguer booth. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm going to be hanging out at the JST and Unstoppable Recording Machine booths in Hall A. I'm gonna put info right here. Info is magically right here. Come say hi, come get a guitar pick, give me a high five, and tell me how much you love Black Star. Do it. But yeah, come on out to the NAMM Show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll be filming some stuff and doing some cool things. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys this week. All the Pigment links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.